Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive, this is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am your host of Trap or Dive Podcast, Mual. Dre and AJ is in here in the building, the virtual building. Jay Tizzy, Monty, Benz, what's up? I see y'all in the chat. Everybody's checking in live. Appreciate y'all watching. And then also on the Twitch and Twitter side, we appreciate y'all checking in as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're on the YouTube side of things. Audio side, man, hit the button. Hit us with a follow, rate and review if you can. It takes 10 seconds to do so. And it's free to show you support that away. Administrative item, my bad. Tashawn Reed coming on, Commander's reporter for the Washington Post. He'll be joining us actually at the top of the show. So in a few minutes, we'll be talking to Tashawn Reed of the Washington Post. We'll talk to him about the shit that's going on in Ashburn. Fellas, how y'all doing, bro? Y'all all right?
Good, bro. Chilling, ready for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like we got a football team to look forward to, but you know, we here.
Yeah, I'm cooling, man. Just here, you know, preparing for the holidays. Just trying to keep everything in focus with that.
I feel you.
What about you? How are you feeling, bro?
I'm doing good. Doing good, bro. You know, appreciate you asking. You know, I'm over here thinking of ways. Personally, I've been thinking about ways to how to. I ain't been feeling right, like functionally, my body. So I'm trying to figure out how to get back on track with things. So I'm about to start at the top of next week. I'm about to start a cleanse. I've done it before, a juice cleanse. It's like a 3-day thing. But I haven't done it with the person that I'm gonna run it with now. I usually do it with my trainer, but I'm gonna go through another company and I'm gonna try to do a 3-day cleanse just to reset my body, man, and see if that can help me get like reset and get back on track with things. But you know, those things actually help me with my mind too. So I'm actually looking forward to that. So we're gonna see how that goes. But yeah, I'm doing all right.
I knew I meant to send y'all something last week. I was watching something on YouTube and then it got into Alfred Street Baptist Church. Have y'all heard of that church in Alexandria?
Nope.
I ain't heard of no church
So
having
it's like,
injury.
so it's a black church or whatever, led by a black pastor, and they're having, I want to say they're having like a 45-day cleanse or fasting. Like you can't use the phone, you can't watch the football games.
Oh, you talking about like okay.
Yeah, like it's intense. But somebody sent it to me. I was like, man, I can't do that, bro. Like
Nah,
just act like life don't exist. Like I
I
mean, I could
can
do
do it. I
some of
don't
the
want to
things
do
you're saying.
it.
Yeah,
I can't.
but
Can't do it.
I thought of it because he was like, this cleanse like typically helps you realign, and I was just thinking like, yeah, maybe a cleanse would be good. You feel me? Because sometimes you just gotta realign your chakras, your energy, and all that. But when I seen 45 days, I was like, I think that joint went into almost Super Bowl. Like I was like, oh nah.
Yeah, it would.
I was like, nah, God bless those in this congregation that sign up for that. But yeah, I'm not rocking.
Yeah, like I mean, 3 days cool. Like, and even with the juices that they're gonna give, like this company, they do 5 juices a day. I did 3 with my trainer. So like I can extend the cleanse beyond 3 days and just stick to like I could do like 5 days if I needed to, with the amount of juices that they give me. So I think like it's interesting, bro. I think at the very least, if you think about a cleanse, bro, I think you should do like a physical one, not worry about like the one that the church that you're talking about, the Baptist church that you're talking about. Like you should think about like a juice cleanse. And maybe it helps you. It's hard if you never done it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's hard as shit.
Hey,
And the worst day is the last day too, because it's like, bro, you think about that last day is like, I can't wait to eat. I can't wait for my first meal on day 4, bro. Oh my god, what I'm about to eat, bro. I tell you, the first time I ever did the cleanse, bro, bro, I woke up at 5 a.m. ordered a big steak omelet with 3 pancakes at the IHOP, bro. I went to that joint, bro. I drove 20 minutes to get that shit, bro. I came back to the crib, bro. Bro, I couldn't even eat it. Like that's also what it does. Like it realigns everything. Like it's your stomach tract, like what you can intake. It decreases. Like I could only eat like 3 bites of the pancakes. I couldn't even eat the omelet. Had to throw it all away.
Hey, y'all better than me. I can't do any juice cleanses. I mean, I get it. The concept sounds cool. But look, about 10 something years ago, somewhere along that lines, I had to do a colonoscopy for whatever reason. I had some stomach issues at the time. And that was as close to a cleanse that I could ever get.
Colonoscopy at 25. What the hell?
Bro, I had stomach issues. They thought I had cancer. So they was checking. They wanted to make sure I didn't have cancer, which I didn't.
Y'all know I got Crohn's disease, so I had to get a colonoscopy too, bro.
But so you drank that nasty liquid all day long. Yep. See, that's why
yes, bro. Yes, right, it's terrible.
Never.
It's terrible, bro. But at the same time, that's not the bro. Don't compare no juice and some goddamn.
But see,
colon cleanser,
to
bro.
me, you might as well be getting a colonoscopy if I'm doing juice for 3 straight days and no solid foods.
Man, that's hilarious, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you comparing it to that, bro, like that just fucks up my whole vision, bro. Like it ain't nothing.
Hey, Disco just hit one of the biggest pauses in Paul's history.
Oh no! Oh no, bro. We can't even say that on the nah. Hey, Disco, bro. Go ahead on, bro. All right, man.
Hey,
you know what?
On the real, man, black man, get checked, man. Definitely,
get
yourself checked. Make sure you getting your physicals, all those things, so you don't catch nothing too late. You in the know about your body, what you got going on, especially if you've been outside messing with these little thotties out here locally and internationally. You don't know what the hell they got, so make sure you straight, my boy.
Those are for the youngest that's listening for sure.
Yes,
you know,
back in my young days,
y'all listen to AJ, bro, and don't let Disco scare you, bro. He a little freakazoid, but you know, I think he
He's
means
a
well.
wild boy, bro. He a wild
Yeah,
boy.
man. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some Washington Commanders, right? We've done enough non-football related things. I actually want to talk about Sharon more, but we started talking about some other stuff, which is cool with me. Let's get Tashawn Reed in here. Tashawn, like I said, covers the Commanders for the Washington Post. And I think it's a perfect time. Oh, let's fix this. There we go. It's a perfect time to get the good man on. Tashawn, how you feeling, boss man?
What's going on? I was trying to figure out what y'all was talking about. I thought it was more, but
We had to cut it off.
It
was going too far.
It went so many different places in the matter of seconds. You came in at the right time, man.
You did. I actually blame Dre. Dre, you kind of steered it left. That's what got the check.
I wasn't talking about fasting.
All right, man. Matter of fact, hey Tashawn, have you ever fasted before?
yeah, like you talking about like a 1 day thing or 2 day thing?
Like a juice type of thing.
However day. I mean, I've done
yeah.
for
I've done
context.
like I've done like intermittent fasting. I've done like the juice cleanse shit, you know, but I ain't never done like, you know, Ramadan or nothing like that. So
yeah, intermittent fasting is something I'm super familiar with.
I can do that. I've done it.
Yeah, intermittent fasting is cool. We were talking about like a 3-day cleanse. I'm about to get on that at the top of next week. That's kind of where the nature of the conversation going. But hey, if you familiar with it, man, like it's hard, bro. But I think intermittent fasting is probably the best way to actually get involved with something like that.
yeah, it's actually like sustainable, you know. It ain't like you gotta, because the thing about them like cleanses is people do it for a day or 2 or 3, and then they just go right back to doing whatever they're doing
Right
before,
back to it.
and all the way coming
Yep.
back. So
Yep. That's another thing, AJ. If you ever think about a cleanse, bro, that's another. You don't even need to worry about that phone, that social media stuff, whatever the church was talking about. Don't need like, bro. It's
Man,
I would never do that. When is a good time to ever do that?
I am not a member of that church. Like I said, God bless them.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, Tashawn, talk to us, man. Where are we? 3-10. I think. Well, first off, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The last time we talked to Sean, I didn't think it was going to get this bad at all. And here we are, 4 games left in the season, man. And I think for the way in which Washington has trended, especially going into week 15 against the New York Giants, we see that Jayden has missed he's missing another game officially declared out on Wednesday. What do you take of the news and just like the tumultuous ups and downs of the sophomore/year 2 season for Jayden Daniels?
yeah, it's kind of been the story of his season. You know, he hasn't been able to get a rhythm at any point. You know, pretty much every time he touches the field, he's coming right back off. You know, this is the 4th time against the Vikings that he got knocked out of a game due to injury, and none of them have, you know, outside of the dislocated elbow, obviously, but even that one didn't end up being that serious. It sounds crazy to say, but, you know, didn't suffer any fractures, didn't have any ligament damage. So as bad as it looked, ended up only keeping him out for 3 weeks. So it's been more so like these little nagging injuries, but it's been really impactful because quarterback is such a position where it's really unlike any other. Like you need every single rep to get into that groove and, you know, get familiar with your teammates, you know, get comfortable in the system, react to what the defense is doing. And so if you're constantly in and out like he's been this season, it's only natural that sometimes even when he's healthy, he's not going to look quite the same, which I think we saw against the Vikings. You know, before he got hurt, that game was pretty much already a wrap. You know what I mean? Like, and I know some people were mad about them pulling him only being down 17-0, but like, I don't know who watching that game thought the Commanders were about to come back in that one, you know? So it's been unfortunate. You know, it's kind of a weird sophomore slump where it's like, it's not like he's playing every game and he's just not looking as good as he did last year, but it's because of the injuries that he hasn't really been able to catch that rhythm. And I know, you know, a lot of fans are starting to compare it to RG3 and whatnot and kind of freaking out, especially with like Drake May having a good year and Caleb Williams and the Bears having a good year. But I pumped the brakes a little bit. Like I think, you know, if he can get some better injury luck and also improve his behavior when it comes to doing a better job of protecting his body, you could see a bounce back year from him in year 3.
So let me ask you this, because I feel like, you know, after throwing that pick and getting pushed down by Isaiah Rodgers and them pulling him out the game and having him not return, it feels like the focus has been primarily on Jayden and his health versus the fact that this team just lost 0-30 to the Vikings, and this team was one game away from the Super Bowl last year to now probably slated to pick in the top 5 with the same staff returning. How have you felt like the energy has been around the building in regards to job security from like some of the assistant coaches, even down to Dan Quinn himself? Like, what's the feeling that you have? Because I know you from covering the Raiders, so you've been around, unfortunately, some dysfunctional situations coaching wise. But like, what's your feeling? Going into the second week of December.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I've been around some teams where I've seen locker rooms be checked out, but this is not one of those situations. As bad as that game was, I mean, the locker room has pretty much been what it's been all season. This team has been pretty steady. Win or lose, it hasn't really changed. I think guys are still bought into what Dan Quinn is preaching. They like playing for him. They like what he's about, but like the team just isn't good. Like that's ultimately what it is. Like I know it's the same regime and a lot of the same faces and names from that run last year, but due to a mix of injuries, step backs in performance in terms, for Jayden in particular, not looking as good when he's out there. I think from a coaching standpoint, Cliff Kingsbury has had some lapses this year. Obviously, Joe Witt Jr. got, defensive play calling stripped from him. So I think overall they just regressed or either regressed or been unavailable this year. And they also caused some bad breaks. Like last year, this team was like super lucky in a lot of moments. And you need luck. Like every team that goes on a run has luck along the way. Like some of those, like the fail Mary, against the Bears, or some of these last second wins, like that stuff isn't really static year to year. Like, some of those breaks are going to go the other team's way. And that's really what happened this year in some of those close games that they lost. So, this is one of them years, you know what I mean? But I don't think it's gotten to the point where like anybody's worried about, I don't know should anybody, but like Dan Quinn and Adam Peters like aren't going anywhere. Like I'm very confident in that. I do think they have like an interesting decision to make at a defensive coordinator though, because you have to decide, am I going to keep calling plays? Am I going to give it back to Joe Witt? Am I going to, go get another defensive coordinator to call plays? So I think that's probably the one spot where you kind of have some intrigue going into the offseason.
If it were you, Tashawn, real quick before Dre comes in and asks you a question, would you be ringing the alarm if you were ownership as far as like the 1 year high, like pretty much you're on a roller coaster at this point, and now going into year 3, would you be signaling the alarm to something has to get from a major standpoint, like we got to make a change at head coach?
Nah, I don't like not in terms of like this off season. I would definitely say the urgency is there and like the pressure is on to bounce back in year 3. Like you can't have another season like this, injuries or not. And I think there has to be a certain level of urgency from the front office collectively this off season to improve it. Because this team, like on defense, they need help at all 3 levels. Offensively, you could say wide receiver, maybe get some more offensive line help. Tight end, depending on what happens with Zach Ertz, obviously. But they have a lot of cap space. I think around $80 million, according to Over the Cap. They could free up some more space if they want to. They don't have many draft picks, so maybe if they do end up with a top 5 pick, maybe you explore trading back and getting some more draft picks. But you got to be aggressive this offseason because it's pretty much money time now. You had that grace from the first year making that run, but this year was a huge step back. You can't have another, whatever they end up being, 3-14, 4-13 next season. Otherwise, there's probably going to be some changes. So they got to ramp up that aggression. They kind of worked along the margins in the past, signing guys to 1-year deals, 2-year deals, that kind of situation. I think they got to ramp up the aggressiveness in free agency in particular.
I wanted to ask this because the Jayden situation at this point has just kind of become strange to me. And I say that because, as you mentioned, he's taken out of the game at 17-0. Okay, cool. I mean, I get it. He looked like he may have hurt himself again with that arm. But then you hear that he's not playing this week, but they don't know if they're shutting him down yet this season. But he's still practicing. What do you kind of make of that? And I guess where I'm trying to go with this is if the season meant anything, and this season kind of went a little differently, Jayden with that injury right now, does he play? Is he capable of playing, or do you think this is some kind of caution, maybe even coming from higher than Dan Quinn, like not so much the coaching staff, but maybe front office, like saying, hey, we got to dial it back with him. And do you think we see Jayden again this season?
Well, I think there's always like quarterback is one of those positions where you're going to have probably more caution than any other one. But, I mean, you can just go back to when he dislocated his elbow. Like in the moment, Dan Quinn said he didn't question it, but the next day, he kind of walked it back and said he missed the mark with that one. And that kind of thing sticks in your head, and makes you, take your time a little bit more when it comes to bringing him back. But I mean, you remember the week before, the Broncos game, he was practicing that week too and didn't play. So like that's not necessarily like a new thing. It's really just a pain tolerance, kind of situation. Like there's no fracture, there's no ligament damage. So unless he dislocates the elbow again, there's not really like a re-injury, but it's more so like a soreness level. Can he deal with it and take a hit and be fine? And so I think that's kind of where he's at now. I don't think it's really a situation where they're like, see if they win or lose this weekend in terms of bringing him back, because they already got eliminated from the playoffs. So like that part of it is over with anyway. Now, like if they were, I don't know, let's say one game over 500 and kind of in the thick of the NFC hunt, would he press through it and play this week? Probably. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole different ball game. But I think especially with you being eliminated from the playoffs, if he's too sore, like for who, for what, at this point, you know what I mean? Because if you throw him out there and something else happens, you ain't gonna hear the end of it. You know what I mean? So I think we end up seeing him again just because Jayden's kind of get down and this whole message that Dan Quinn has preached of, compete, kind of the old Pete Carroll mantra from when he's with the Seahawks, with the Raiders now. I can't see them just sitting a healthy Jayden Daniels. That does not seem to be the plan at all. I just think he's like too sore to play this week ultimately. Yeah,
that's actually just being transparent. That's actually my fear. I don't know exactly like how they, and when I say my fear is like, I don't know like how they even really want to handle him. Like it seems like the way they maneuver with Jayden, I do agree when you said that like 17-0, the game is essentially over in that specific situation. Like you're not gonna win that game. And you can tell that. But in the grand scheme of things, like the way you message after the game is like, we knew that he could have came back. He was healthy enough to come back. I get that. But like, if he wasn't healthy, he wasn't 100% before the game started or before the kickoff, excuse me, I don't see the purpose of even playing him at that point. I personally feel like if he wasn't 100% healthy or even 90%, because you're not going to be 100%, like hold off a little bit. So like where I'm at in terms of how you're viewing him coming back with at least 3 games left, to Sean, what exactly would you do is my first question. But like, how do you think people will view things if, a game comes along or a play comes along and he's still dealing with the same injury and a similar circumstance happens again and within these 3 weeks? How would you handle that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was cool going into the game. I think he just got driven into the turf on his elbow. You know what I mean? Like it was cool until it wasn't. That's kind of just football, though. Like you said, nobody's really 100, especially this late in the season. Nobody's 100%, and that's kind of a fluky play. It wasn't like he was doing too much scrambling or holding on to the ball too long in the back. If he's like, what's he going to throw the pick and then not try to tackle the guy? You know what I mean? So like and that
was my main thing too, Sean. I'm like, bro, like it's him and Terry. Like somebody got to make a play. It's only them two. Yeah. I'm not mad at him for going after it.
If he gives up on it, then everybody's like, oh, he's checked out. He don't even care. You know what I mean? So I can't really get on him for that. But I think for me, like I said, like if he's fully healthy, like not fully, but like if he's healthy and not in pain, I would play him. Just because I think that messaging matters. When you talk about team culture, things of that nature, like you have other guys playing through injury. You see Bobby Wagner, 36, whatever, however old he is, he's not practicing because of his knee injury, and he's still going out there and playing, in this lost season. This could be his last year. We never know. Zach Ertz just went out last week, in a meaningless game, essentially. So, like, if Jayden is good and you don't play him, what kind of message does that send to the rest of the locker room? So I think you got to think more big picture. And at the end of the day, like with Jayden, because he's built how he's built. So he's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He can't take some of these bigger hits. He's going to have to change his behavior ultimately. Like whether it's next season or the end of this season, like it's going to continue to be a thing unless he gets better about protecting his body. And you obviously surround him with better pieces so that he doesn't have to press as much. So it's like, he's not going to be in bubble wrap out there. He's going to have to take this risk at some point. So I don't think there's any value to holding him out if he can play. You know what I mean? Like if you coach scared like that, then you kind of already, I think that's the kind of stuff you start seeing when a coach is worried about like job security and like, oh shit, I'm about to get fired, that kind of thing. And I don't think that's where they're at. So I think they're just kind of gonna let it fly if he's ready to go these last 3 games.
So I guess to keep it on the Jayden Daniels topic, for me, we say he should protect himself a little bit better, but I think that really kind of starts with the offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, calling a better offense. And like you touched on, having better talent around him. Do you think that Cliff ends up returning as the OC for this team next year? Or do you think that's something that they have to really sit back and have a review on from a schematic standpoint, aside from if Cliff ends up taking a job elsewhere? But I think Jayden really wants to live in the pocket. It's just ain't nothing there. Whether you have injuries with wide receivers or not, still the offense should be able to function some way.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be kind of surprised if Cliff isn't back unless, he gets a head coaching job in the NFL or college or something of that nature. But, yeah, I think he'll be back as OC otherwise. But I do think they need to change their approach on offense. Like, it's kind of that, this kind of has followed Cliff since Arizona, right? Is he kind of has that trend of like they'll start well and then it seems like the defenses adjust and they don't have an adjustment to the adjustment, right? And I think they get a little bit too static, like they have that trend where like when they're in shotgun, they pass. When they're in pistol, they're running. Like you kind of know what's coming. I think they have to diversify the offense a little bit more. I do think like there's an element of personnel there, like with the injuries at receiver and needing to add some more weapons that maybe could help open things up on offense. But they definitely have to change how they operate. Like it's clearly not working even when Jayden's been healthy. I definitely like think that Cliff owns some of the burden here, even though Jayden kind of had that caveat of like Jayden missed half the season, the receivers were out half the season. It's like, what could I do? But I still think the offense could look better than what it's been. And we've seen other play callers across the league, kind of lift up units. That's what you really want to see from a great play caller. Like look at what Kyle Shanahan has been doing with the 49ers this year. Like half their team has also been hurt, but that offense was consistently producing and that team is in the playoff hunt, compared to where the Commanders are. So I definitely don't think you let them off the hook for this, but I'd be surprised if they went as far as to fire them.
Tashad, when did you start covering the Commanders?
Week 3, so the Raiders week.
So this season?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to know if we could get exclusively maybe on Trapper Dive some insight into Cliff Kingsbury, supposed to be the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, and then joining Washington. Do you have any inside details of how that really came about? Because the Raiders ended up having to go with someone else, right? It was Sharon Waldron.
No, it was Luke Getsy that they hired.
Luke Getsy, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, my bad, last year.
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah, basically the difference was, so the Raiders, they historically only give out 2-year contracts to their assistant coaches. And that's what Cliff had agreed to initially with the Raiders, with Antonio Pierce being the head coach. But then, Commanders came in with that 3rd year. That ultimately was a difference from like what I heard from my perspective being on the Raiders beat at the time. So it's really what it came down to, in addition to, the Commanders having the number 2 pick and having the clear pathway to draft Jayden Daniels versus the Raiders, who at the time had Aiden O'Connell and the 13th pick. They ended up getting Brock Bowers, so it was cool, but they didn't have no quarterback. So, it was a pretty easy choice for Cliff. Extra year and young number 2 overall pick that just won the Heisman. Like, it's pretty easy for him.
And for me, I want to ask some switching gears a bit. With the Zach Ertz injury, obviously very unfortunate, but now a lot of fans kind of see this as an opportunity for Ben Sinnott to kind of maybe finally start to show something or whatever he can be in this NFL. But I'm not so sure he's even in line to be that next guy up. Like, do you have any insight as to who may be in line? Would it be Bates? I know they like to use him as a blocking tight end, but we're talking about as far as a receiver tight end. Do you think that Sinnott is next in line, or is it going to be like a yank off, or Bates, maybe he gets more opportunities in the pass game? Like, what do you foresee going forward for the rest of this season, at least at the tight end position?
He better be next to the second round
on
last year. He's that move tight end kind of fill in for what Ertz does. I think Bates was sticking that kind of blocking role. I asked DQ about it. He seemed to indicate that, Ben's going to get a bigger opportunity. And he spoke in the locker room the other day, and he said his usage is going to change pretty dramatically from what it's been previously. He's only played about, I think, 27% of the snaps this year and last year. He had the same rate of his snaps. So been pretty low. He only has 9 career catches for a second-round pick. Like, you definitely want to see more out of him. I think Ertz's production has been a reason why we haven't, just because he's been pretty good. I think especially for his age the last couple of years, and it's kind of hard to justify taking him off the field. But Now you need Ben to step up, and so we should be able to see what he has. Like if he's not, if it's Yankov or they're using Bates as a receiver over him in that situation, then I think that I don't know, he might not have might start
That's a
asking
huge
questions
indictment.
about yeah. So I'd be kind of surprised if he's not taking over that Ertz role.
But you also, and Dre, you brought up a really good question because I can't, maybe it was Ben Standick who asked about the 2024 draft class and his presser. And the way he answered it, he just said, I'm not going to do like grades, end of the season grades right now. But, I think of something like that personally. And I'm like, I think the problem doesn't lie in your response, but it lies in the actual question being asked. Because if the question is asked, that means I don't think anybody's sold on the draft class itself. Like, what do you think? And I know you got on this year, but I mean, you've been around just long enough to know like those draft picks in 2024 and even 2025 to some extent. Like, it's just, what do you think about that class overall and where Adam Peters' responsibility, where does that sit for you in terms of like where the rookies or the second year players have been, I guess, seemingly underperforming? Maybe that's
I mean, I don't really, I don't knock DQ too much for not really going too in depth on that one. Like, I think if you ask him that exact same question, which we will after week 18, like he's going to give an answer. Like I think that's just something that typically you get in that in the season press conference. It's kind of the time for that kind of stuff. But especially because like Ben, for example, like what if he goes out these last 4 games and averages 80 yards a game? Then we're gonna be like, oh, he's great. You know what I mean? So like, kind of got to see how these guys finish up. But I think that second round crop was kind of the focus of Ben's question, and I think it's fair. Like, Mikey Sanger still had a pretty good rookie year playing outside. This year, switching to nickel, started off pretty rough. I think he's been better since he moved back outside, in my opinion. But like Johnny Newton, he hasn't really seen the field all that much this year with Deron Payne and Kinlaw taking up most of the snaps there. So, you get 3 second round picks, you would hope to get more production than they've gotten from that specific round of that 2024 class. I think that's fair to say. I think they would say that gave them some truth serum. So you definitely want to see more when you spend that type of draft capital, and that puts a lot of the onus there is on Adam Peters. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he got the first round pick right that year with Jayden Daniels. I think the first round pick this year, Josh Connolly. After the rough start, he settled in pretty well these last 5 or 6 games or so, and he's starting to turn the corner. But that 2024 class, you would have hoped to get more out of it, considering how many draft picks that they had and where those draft picks were. And so it's a lot of pressure on him this offseason, especially since they don't have that many picks because of the Laramie Tunsil trade, which has been a great trade for him. He's playing at all pro level, but because of that trade, they only have 2 picks in the first 4 rounds. And so that's kind of what I mentioned earlier. Like, let's say they end up with the 4th pick, like, and there's not. They feel the same about number 4 as they feel about the number 8 guy on their board. Maybe you trade back there and you get an extra 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick or whatever it is. So I think they're going to have to get creative in how they build the roster this offseason because they don't have as much draft capital as they did in the past. And because of that, it also kind of makes it more glaring that at least so far they haven't gotten the returns that you would like to see from those extra 2nd round picks that they had in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I just want to ask you from a personal standpoint, how have you been adjusting to DC? Like, I don't think you're originally from here or whatever, but like, how has it been?
We should have invited him to the rallies, man.
Yeah, covering the Washington Redskins / Commanders and seeing how in tune people are with the fan base and what's going on with the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from St. Louis, so I haven't really didn't spend a whole bunch of time out here. I've been here a couple times as a tourist, but I ain't really been here that much. There's many road games that they've had, going to Madrid and going to all these different cities and whatnot. But it was kind of just like a crazy transition with when I joined, like in the middle of the season. I really only had like 2 weeks notice before I moved out here, but I've been rocking with it. Like, it's been dope to be in a city that's, I mean, St. Louis is the same way, but like to be in a city that's like predominantly Black again, it's kind of cool seeing the culture that comes with that, being around your people. It was definitely a wild time to be in DC. A lot going on in the city. General. But like, you can definitely feel the passion from the fan base. Like, Raiders fans are passionate too, so I was kind of used to that. But
definitely.
that East Coast passion is a little different. You know what I mean? Like reading the comments on some of my stories. Like, oh, Jayden's a bust. I'm like, yo, word? Like,
Yeah,
for real? So like,
they be locked in,
Man,
bro.
I seen Aqib Talib say something like he would take Bo Nix over Jayden Daniels. I'm like, come on, bro.
yeah,
Like, what are we
Keep a
doing,
wild dude.
Well, I about to
man?
say, well, you know where that came from. He got that Bronco blood in him, bro.
yeah,
That's true,
that's
too.
all that is. That's all that is. But
Yeah, you got
but
that
nah, I think
CTE.
yeah.
Because what?
But now the
Right,
passion
that's
from the
cool.
fan base for sure has been dope to see. And like while this season like obviously hasn't been good for the team, it's still been fun. You know, it's just change, new market, new team.
You ain't tried no mumbo sauce, chicken wings, carry out. You ain't
I
been
mean,
there
I had some of that my first couple of go rounds.
yet.
I ain't gonna lie, I'll be cooking mostly when I'm in
Okay.
the crib here. So
We gotta get you the Twin Dragons, bro.
It looked
Twin
like he
Dragons?
be in
Kennedy Street.
you in a run club?
run club? Nah, I'll be working out in my little gym.
Oh, okay. I
That's,
thought you might be in the run club with the little.
Oh yeah, hold on,
bag
wait.
on.
Let me tell you about the yeah. Let me hit you. I'm gonna let you know about the run clubs and yeah. I'm gonna let you know something about the. I'm gonna let you know something about the run club, but it's a nice scene. You know, that's all. That's good little 3 mile runs. You know,
yeah.
but they out of season right now, so in a couple months I'm gonna hit you up about that.
Yeah, that's the other thing, bro. Like, I'm used to that Vegas desert weather, bro.
Oh yeah.
I had to get reacclimated to
That
this
dry
this
heat.
winter shit. Yeah, man. It's 30 degrees outside, snowing and all that.
But I guess, Tashawn, before we get you out of here, man, I wanted to ask at least one question on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I know since Dan Quinn is taking over the defense, I mean, initially you see, okay, things look a little bit different. They look a little bit better. But then against Minnesota, you see them kind of get exposed again in a sense. And the big glaring thing is they have to play so vanilla on defense because the pass rush just isn't there. And I think the coaching staff really acknowledges that at this point. But is there anything that they can do for the rest of the season to generate any kind of pass rush, whether Dan Quinn is going to maybe get a little bit more aggressive with some blitzes or anything? Because at this point, from what I see from the defense, they're just content with playing that slow bleed kind of defense and hoping that the offense can make a mistake. Is there anything they can do going forward? Do you think that they're going to change any kind of method?
I mean, we saw them play the other way before, right? Like I think, when Joe Witt was calling plays, like they were pretty aggressive, a lot more man coverage. Their blitz rate was pretty high. Like they were pretty consistently in the top 10 in the league in blitz rate. And it was, starting with that Seahawks run, that Lions game, it was like, yo. So that it can't be that. And I think that's what's going to happen if they go back to trying to live that way. And so you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like this version of the defense isn't good either. I just don't think there's an answer schematically. I think it's a personnel issue. There probably have been moments throughout the season where they could have been better schematically, but I think it's just a matter of like they just don't have the guys that you need between injuries and this defense also wasn't that good last year either. Yeah. And so you were really banking on some of these additions. You go back to Wise getting hurt. Armstrong was having a really good year before he got hurt.
But see, Tashawn, my issue with that is even when they added in the off season, who were those guys? Those guys weren't anything like a game changer. So it's like
I mean, Armstrong was hooping though. He had like what 6 sacks in 6 games.
Yes,
so he was
6.
He was playing pretty well. He was playing pretty well. I mean, Trey Amos, another second round pick, he gets hurt. So they, Kinlaw, they spent a good amount of money on. I think he's paid. He's turned out to be a pretty good addition for him. But this defense, they're gonna have to. I mean, most of their money, most of their resources this offseason, that's where it has to go. Like they just need better dudes ultimately. So I think that's gonna be the top priority in the offseason.
Do you think DQ will end up being the play caller for 2026, or he hires from outside of his familiarity if he ends up staying at DC? Because I expect guys like Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich, who have coached with him in the past, to possibly be available the way the Falcons.
Damn, you firing Raheem already? Man?
I mean that's my.
You don't got too many black coaches.
That's my guy, but it's not looking good for him in Atlanta. Yeah. So that's my guy, personal friend, good dude. But like, I just can't see how they're gonna continue with that. But we know that those are guys from his tree, like DQ's tree. Do we think it's a need to go outside of that family tree if he decides to not be the one to call the defense.
Yeah, I don't think DQ knows if he's going to call plays next year or not yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think, like in the past, like when he had most of his success with the Falcons, he wasn't calling plays then. So I think that's really his preference as a head coach. I know he had a ton of success calling plays, obviously for the Cowboys when he was their defense coordinator. So we know he can do it, but it's a whole different job when you're the head coach, right? You got to be on top of everything, not just locking in on defense. So it's harder to pull off, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Like you said, it could depend on who else might be available. Like if Raheem does get fired, maybe that does change the math for him. But I honestly don't think he's made up his mind about it. They did show progress with him calling plays those first couple games, but this last week was a huge step back. Obviously, I think for me personally, like if I was, let's say I'm a Commanders fan, I'm not, but if I was, like I probably would want him to turn over the play calling to somebody else again and kind of get back to that kind of CEO type of head coach. I just think I don't know, like some guys it works out. You see the Sean McVays and whatnot, but I think that CEO style, kind of just being over top of everything, it helps improve your game management, clock management, everything of that nature. I think that'd be the better role for him moving forward. But I guess we'll see, when the offseason comes.
Tashawn Reed, ladies and gentlemen of the Washington Post. Hey, let's stab this now, AJ and Dre. Tashawn, you might be working, but let's at least extend the invite next event we got because it's been free on. So let's extend the invite to Tashawn. Make sure that he know that what we got going on, he could pop out, show some show face at the Commanders. Our Commanders event. So I'm about to say I had to fix my word.
Did you get to do anything in Madrid? I was out there. I don't think I seen you. Or you guys had early times of having to show up for practices, but did you get to do anything with some of the downtime?
Yeah, that probably did a little bit too much in Madrid. I was feeling it.
It's
that's all I can say.
It was nice, man.
Sound like the right answer to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, man.
We're gonna leave it right there.
Know you was outside because I was outside too.
It's another international trip next year, right? We might have to make that trip.
I'm hoping it's Brazil.
I'm hoping it's not the UAE what they were talking about.
AJ said it was cool, but I don't know, bro.
I take both as long as it's not like Germany, nowhere cold, man. Like, give me somewhere nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because Madrid was raining, but it was still like 50-something degrees. But it was still vibes. It was still good. Give me vibes.
Real, bro. Yes. Hey, man, Tashawn, take care. Enjoy your weekend, bro. Appreciate you for joining us, man. We're gonna be in touch, big dog.
Bet. Appreciate y'all having me. Peace.
Yes, appreciate you.
Yes, sir. There is Tashawn Reed. Let's go ahead and get us back on. There we go. As always, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Disco said Munich. I think that is the location, too, for the Germany.
Right?
Yeah, that's the Germany one. JT,
not someone, but well, I guess I have to say someone that covers the team as a beat reporter told me that it was going to be UAE, but who knows? Because that's like how they done with like certain NFL teams. They made them pick like certain international markets, like the Browns and the Eagles are like, I don't know, Nigeria or Ghana, and then like some other teams like
I would have went there.
Is Madrid.
Yeah, I would have went too.
Hey,
might have been a long trip, but
yeah. So it'll be interesting. Just hopefully this team is better to watch because that was miserable.
You didn't like the 16-13 overtime game against the Dolphins?
Bro, it was just, I was just in my row pretty much by myself. Bunch of Dolphins fans. There was some cool.
You surrounded by Dolphins fans, bro.
Some cool kids in front of me. They not familiar with the game like that, so they just asked me questions. It was cool. Like outside of the
smack
game,
the hats off their heads. All the Dolphins
outside the game. Outside the game was a vibe. Did y'all get to see the halftime performance on TV?
No.
I don't know. I don't remember. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
it wasn't the Temptations.
Cool. Nah, it wasn't Temptation. It was like it was some DJ, but it's like, how do you have a DJ perform at halftime? But he had at the beginning he had Daddy Yankee, but Daddy Yankee ain't do the Daddy Yankee songs that I know. Like he did one song, got off, and then DJ Khaled his thing up there.
I wouldn't know any.
All in all, man. Actually, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. UAE
They
may
don't
be
serve
cool.
no liquor during games either. It was only beers.
Yeah, well, I guess I'd be sober then. That's frustrating.
I don't think I'm going to UAE, bro.
I don't drink no beers.
I don't drink beer at all. You can't.
Nah,
Can't
Dre,
pay
we
me to
already
drink
made it.
beer.
We already made a pact, bro. We said we going. We going
Yeah,
to
we
wherever
going.
the
I want
international
to
game
drink
is,
in public comfortably, and I don't want to worry about getting arrested for cursing.
Why would you be getting arrested? What?
Bro, have you seen their laws over there? The laws are like
And
super
it is a little
strict.
crazy.
over there.
Right. If you don't hold your tolerance, if you know you could possibly get arrested in their country, hell no.
Yeah, and then I gotta be like on eggshells.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not in
vacation.
public. In public, I'm not a belligerent dude. Like when
Yeah,
I'm
me
lit,
either,
like,
but-
I'm not. But at the same time, I get you. Like the fear of something. Like, what if they think like I scratched my hair the wrong way?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
this
goddamn,
nigga drunk.
Yeah, look at him. Public intoxication. Cut his hand off.
Hey, bro, cut my hand.
Hey, you wild for that.
Hey, bro. We're all right. So look, we got 10 minutes, bro. I wanted to get to Jay Tizzy's comment though about Ben Sinnott because I mean, excuse me, it was actually more about Noah Brown than it was Ben Sinnott. And I think from a historical standpoint, I think you have a point. For those that's on the podcast side, Jay Tizzy said in the conversation with Tashawn that Noah Brown is y'all gonna be mad when Noah Brown is playing the Zach Ertz role. And that's kind of like the move guy. You play inline. Well, he's not gonna play inline. Noah Brown is, but like he's played H-back before. He's played tight to the formation. And he did that like his last year in Dallas, his first year in Houston. And I'm not saying that Jay Tizzy's right, but I'm acknowledging that like Noah Brown's role can slightly change, but also like his importance in the offense can increase as well. Not to say that, I mean, the injury side point and ability to stay healthy, that's one thing, but the actual role itself, I do think you make a good point in terms of how they may change Noah Brown's role as opposed to like increasing Sennett's and Yanko. Well, granted, I do like Yanko.
Who cares, bro? They gonna lose all these games, dog.
No,
it don't,
I mean,
it don't even matter. Like, Ben Simmons not gonna show us anything. Like, you're not gonna.
But that's actually part of the conversation that I was pointing to, though, AJ. Like, it's not about like a win or loss standpoint, but it's actually more about Ben Sinnott. It's like for those who are interested in seeing what Ben Sinnott may look like. It may be a point like you shouldn't be too surprised if his role doesn't significantly increase. But that's kind of what Tashawn was talking about. Like, if it doesn't, what does that say about Ben? And that's kind of the whole circle, the full circles in the scope of the conversation is where I was getting at. That's all.
Okay, so let's say for example Sunday, right? I think Tashawn said he's been playing like 27% of the snaps.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's say if he's still at that 27%, or maybe increases to 35%, but there's no productivity from an offensive standpoint as far as receptions, yardage, anything of that. For those that are Senate believers, because I know you, Mual, you're not. Me and you were right on board when Jordan Reed was on here, raving about him like he was
speaking
a first round tight end or something.
Well.
Dre, I don't really know where you stand on Senate, but for those, there's some that still believe in him or want him to get the opportunity. If we come back here Sunday after the game and he's 0-0-0, do we just like RIP him?
No, I mean you do.
Is he dead in your eyes? Like from that in that regard?
This is honestly, AJ. This is it for him as far as what they see for Ben Sinnott, what these guys see. I mean, I think we already have a pretty damn good idea, but now with Ertz injury, you're kind of left with no choice because who else do you have in that tight end room to say this guy's definitely going to take Ertz's place or this guy's definitely going to be something in the pass game? You have nobody in that tight end room right now. Like John Bates has never been thought of as the pass catching tight end. Colson Yankoff has been a fourth tight end, fringe practice squad, fringe, not even a roster guy in his NFL career. And then that leaves Ben Sinnott. Now, for me, like I personally, I'm more interested in what they've shown. And they've shown us that they don't really believe much in him because Zach Ertz has been hurt before. He has missed a game or two here and there, and Sennett hasn't stepped up in that role and been any different, or they didn't put him in that role to give him any more responsibility than he has had. So to this point, you have to show me at this point, because I'm already thinking that they don't see much in you, so you must not be that guy. But at the same time, in this situation now, Ertz is gone for the season. Adam Peters has to want to see Ben Sennett out there in that football field. Like, even if Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, whoever else doesn't see how he fits in this offense, you have to put him out there and let everyone see at this point, because some people may still be out there like, oh, they're just not giving him the opportunity. And I see a lot of that on social media. I see a lot of that. Well, he doesn't get a lot of targets, but when he gets targets, he makes the most of his opportunities. So there's still people out there that think that. And I think you have to show, people better than you could tell them. Now, he either going to sink or swim. And that's what you got to do at this point. And that goes for Cliff Kingsbury. Like, even if you don't see him as a certain type of tight end in your offense, you're still going to have to use him in this way. You're going to have to go out there and make him play a certain way and see if he can be any kind of different way in this offense. Like, you have to show people. You have to show Adam Peters. Like, you have to show if this is a bad tight end, if this guy is not a good tight end, show Adam Peters that. Maybe that's something Adam Peters needs to see. Maybe he needs to see his mistake up close and personal. So that's what I want to see.
He ain't gonna do nothing if he see that.
Hey, I mean, if he looked at the tape and drafted this man,
hey, he gonna put them.
AJ, it's like when a puppy. It's like when a puppy shit in your house and you make the puppy put his nose in the shit. Doing? You gotta let him see what he did wrong.
He ain't gonna see it. Ben assing it up. I can't see nothing.
He better see it. Put it in his face.
Can't see it.
Make him smell it. Make him smell the shit on the ground. Make him smell his own shit. That's his shit. Make him smell it.
Man, that's crazy how Dre is saying this. Wow.
Yeah, I'm about to say he like 5 times.
Did you do your
smell
puppy
the
like
shit?
that?
Smell it.
Did you do your puppy like that?
Smell your shit.
Of course I did.
You told that to one of your kids before when they pooped?
Nah, I wouldn't do my kids. My kids ain't pooping around. They pooped in their pants.
It got to a point, bro. It got to a point where I knew when Dakota fucked up, bro. She would watch, because I go downstairs fix my coffee. She would watch me walk down the stairs, bro. Like, she would be asleep maybe in the room, my work room that I'm in right now. She may be asleep right there, and if I'm going downstairs, bro, she would run to the stairs and watch me go down the stairs. I was like, oh yeah, you shitted down here, didn't you? All right, she already knew, bro.
She knew.
Look, man, I get what you're saying. I think another big thing too, these last 4 games, and also think with the New York Giants, this is our quasi Giant preview, and we're actually done in like 30 seconds. We don't have much to say about the defense. I think we kind of acknowledge where we are on that side of the ball. Don't forget about Treylon Burks. I'm not sitting here saying that he's going to be special or anything, but when Noah Brown came back, that boy percentage play snap jump dropped to like 20%, 25%.
Inexplicably too.
Well, I think it is explainable. Like, I think it is. But I don't think that it was fair. I think the amount of I think the amount of respect that you gave to Noah Brown just because he came back was just a little too much. So that's where I'm at. Like, he was at 60-70% when Noah Brown was out. I'm at like 40, bro. 40%, something like that. And see where that goes. You don't have to target him like 7-8 times. Just keep him on the field. All right, I think we're good. Last question, I guess for us, for me.
We not doing over-unders for this week?
The hell we need to do that for?
Boys ain't even scored a point last week.
Everything was
over under 2 touchdowns, man. 1.5 touchdowns. That's the line. 1.5 touchdowns. We're going over under for Washington. I say, oh Lord Jesus. Damn. Over.
I'm gonna say over, man. You gotta do something other than what you did last week.
Yeah, over.
I don't know what I say, man. Under. I just can't believe I gotta watch Marcus Mariota again, bro.
Well, at least
that's the correct way to say his name.
Yeah, at least you get his name right, bro. I respect you for it.
But it's like how you wait a whole decade to correct people on how to spell your name, and you were the number 2 pick in the entire draft. Like, it's not like you were a journeyman, bro. You were the number 2 pick in the draft and your Heisman Trophy winner. You just let people butcher your name forever?
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense, bro.
All right. I forgot what I was going to ask y'all, so I guess that's a good point in time to go ahead.
Are they going to win?
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So what happens if they within these last 4 games, at least 2 of them, they lose by 20 or more points? Like, does that affect how you feel about anything, or is it just irregular at this point?
It is what it is at this point, bro.
Yeah.
I think if that happens, fans will get louder about Dan Quinn remaining the head coach. I think that's what will change. Right now, the focus has been on Jayden Daniels and him, I guess, not being healthy, and not necessarily the fact that they lost 0-30. I think with him not playing, the only focus that you can really have at this point is the head coach if they don't show up.
Yeah, I think the Minnesota game honestly was the last straw as far as you feeling any kind of way about this team maybe turning some kind of corner, proving you wrong, whatever the case may be. But losing 31-0 to Minnesota, I mean, you had already been blown out a couple of times this season, but then you felt like
a few.
Yes,
a couple. Yeah.
Embarrassing games, but you felt like after that Denver Broncos game, and to an extent the Miami Dolphins game where you took an overtime. Actually, you had 2 straight overtime games. You felt like you were at a competitive standpoint in the season, even though the season didn't go the way you wanted. You felt like you were at a competitive standpoint in the season where you wanted to see this thing end on a good note. And then that Minnesota game just kind of ended all of the goodwill for the rest of the season. Like, at this point, I don't think nothing changes my opinion about this season. It's a complete waste, complete disaster of a season. Again, I don't even think we're going to see Jayden Daniels for the rest of the season, which is, to me, the biggest disappointment because we didn't get to see him finish the season out on a strong note, or at least show that he's going to go out in a different type of way and show you some flashes going into year 3. So to me, like, even if they get blown out these last couple of games or whatever, it'll just add to what this season has already been. And as AJ said, the chance for Dan Quinn's firing might get louder. So that's the only thing that may change with blowout losses for the rest of the season.
All right. John Applebottom, he's not getting fired. The GM is worse and more responsible for this season. Jay Tizzy, what's up? Appreciate y'all checking in. Colin on Twitter, what's up, Benz? Everybody that's in here in the chat disco as well. You are very. I can't get over that initial comment that you gave us, bruh. What a way to enter the chat.
John Applebottom.
Yeah. Wait, did I say his name wrong? Oh, my bad. Will Diggs, what's up? Yeah. Where the other guy that was in the, where is he at? Grandson, what's up? All right, that's gonna do it for us. We'll be back Sunday post game as always, man. After the 1 o'clock game against the Giants.
She hit the floor, so they got low.
He gonna finish his songs. He'll sing the song and finish that motherfucker.
All right, that's it for us. Like I said, we'll be back Sunday post game, Trap or Die post game, right after the Giants and Commanders. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend, fellas. See y'all Sunday, man.
Be blessed.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Oh, almost exit the studio.
Trap it down. Trap it down. You gon' trap it down. Watch you throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Die.